Before we get started with the video today, guys, I want to let you viewers out there know that only a small fraction of you guys currently watching are actually subscribed to my channel, so make sure to smash that subscribe button for instant updates about videos that I release and other announcements, and also smash that like button to help my channel out. Enjoy the video. Yo, what is up, guys? It is Samool here, back with another epic 7 YouTube video for you guys today, and today I'm going to be talking about expeditions. Now, you guys might be thinking that this is an expedition guide, but I do plan to release a guide later down the line, especially once I'm less busy. But for now, I'm just going to talk about why expeditions are very, very important and why you should not ignore them. Now, a lot of newer players and even mid-game players actually ignore expeditions completely because it's really hard to do, right? The bosses have like 1.8 mil health, and usually people that are new to the game can barely do like 50k at most damage, and you can only go in 3 times, right? So it's fairly impossible to solo it, especially if you're an early mid-game player. And the only way to actually successfully do expeditions is having very strong friends or being in a strong guild, which I highly recommend if you have the luxury of being able to, either have strong friends or get in a strong guild, because expeditions are very, very important. Now, what are expeditions? So if you see in the lobby here that I'm in, you see Garo right here, the secret shop guy that, you roll for and you never get bookmarks or mystics. Well, if you click this red button here, what actually happens, it'll take you to this screen, and this is the expedition basically lobby or area. Basically how expedition works is that you'll see there's an expedition depot here. So this is basically where you collect rewards, and that's not to say that you don't get rewards from just killing the bosses itself. You get rewards from the bosses, and you also get rewards from completing this like point thing that resets every month. Now at the bottom left it says that the reward period's 2 months. Ignore that, it's actually just a month. They need to really fix the timestamp here, because you can collect rewards for 2 months, but the actual thing is like 1 month long. It's really confusing, especially for newer players. I think the first time I did it, I thought it meant 2 months, so I didn't complete it. But you really want to try to complete this if you can. Once you hit late game, you definitely want to complete it all, because it's just free stuff. And while you're doing expeditions, right, so you'll see I have one completed here. It's level 3. You mostly want to be only doing level 3s, because if you see when you collect rewards here, you have a chance of getting these gems. Now these gems, you'll see that they have a specific set they can be used on and a specific stat. So you can use it on, for this gem specifically, you can use it on the lifesteal set, and I can change one random substat, one subset I choose to effectiveness, as long as it doesn't already have effectiveness on it and the piece allows it. So this makes it so that if you have a really good piece with 3 good subs and one pretty bad sub, you can actually gem that sub out and put it in a different substat that you want, which makes expeditions very, very nice, because this is the only source of equipment modification gems at the moment, I'm pretty sure, except some rare side stories that pop up. But for the most part, this is where you're going to get all your gems. So you really want to focus on expeditions once you hit mid-late game. Early game, I don't think you should make this a priority, even mid-game players, because there's not going to be gear that you have the gem without, farming the gear first. So if you focus on expeditions first, sure, you'll get gems, but you won't have the gear actually, right, on other sets. And the set is random for every single expedition. So you really want to make sure that you are trying to do this. If you guys don't know what teams to run, I'll probably make a specific guide on each single one. But there's 4 bosses at the moment. They plan to release a 5th, which is going to be the light one. Okay. And basically what it is that, so there's 3 that rotates every single month. So you'll see there's fire, ice, and dark at the moment. And later on, I think next month, one of these will switch to earth. Basically, the fire one's pretty easy, right? So this is my fire team. You'll see, I guess it's not too easy, but if you have Tamarinne, which you guys should have if you guys have been playing for, the majority of fall, because she had her banner and there's a selector, you can run Tamarinne every single one. You're also going to want to run a knight of the opposite element. So for fire expedition, I want a ice knight. A Crow's a pretty popular option, like Rose, right? And then you can always just slot in Tamarinne with that knight, and then you just put in 2 DPS for every single expedition of, the strong element, and you should be fine. You'll score at least 200k, 150k, which is perfectly fine for mid-game players. Eventually you want to push to 300, 400, 500, but for early game, just slot in Tamarinne plus your knight of choice. Crow's a good one for fire, Falconer Clury is really good for ice, Adventure Ross is very good for earth, Falconer Clury and Ross are also very good for dark. So you can actually get your early game expedition teams running, because there's a lot of free-to-play knights. The knight slot is the hardest, because if you don't have a knight, they actually your front line takes extra damage. So you really want a really tanky knight in the front. The only hard one is going to be the ice knight, but if you have Rose or Crow, you can use them. And you slot in Tamarinne with them, like I said, and just 2 DPS. And obviously that's not going to be the best team that you can have, But for early game, it is going to be, you know, the most free-to-play option, because you don't want to really invest too heavily in expedition units early, because they're not really used anywhere else for the most part. They're very specific to expedition, but late game you will start investing, because you do want to be able to solo them eventually, just to make you know, it quicker and save more energy. But you really want to make sure you do this. You get random gems. Level 3s are really nice because you have a higher chance at a greater gem. If you guys don't know what I mean by a greater gem, I'll show you right here. So you'll see there's purple ones and the normal white ones. So the white ones are a lesser gem, so basically it rolls a lot less than the greater ones. If I do gem something, it's like let's say for instance, right, like, so I gem this for attack, right? So once I gem this for attack, it's not like I can, you know, not gem it ever again. So if I don't have a gem right now, but if I had one, I could gem it to anything else that I want. You can keep rolling it. It'll roll from a range, and if you low roll the range, you can actually roll it again with the same attack percent and try to get the higher end. I think 8% is the max that I got, so I don't have to re-roll it. But say this was like 4% or 5%, I can roll it again with this attack percent greater gem, and I could try to make it higher. So very, very important to do. You want a lot of these gems late game. You'll see I have like a lot stockpiled up. So make sure you do your expeditions. You get these banners from doing hunts. You get them randomly, and you get invited to them if people invite you. So let me just show you how you start one. So let's say I got this from like Wyvern, right? So early game players might want to do 1 and 2, but I really, really recommend doing 3 if you have strong enough friends to complete it. Like if you're starting a lot of level 3 expeditions, inviting everyone, and you can't complete it, then I guess you can do 2s and 1s. But 3s are the best because it gives you the highest chance of getting the greater gems, and those are the most important. The lesser gems are not that great. So you'll see I started it, right? So this will show up in your screen, but it won't show up in anyone else's. What you want to do is you can either manually invite people like this, or what I recommend is you just press invite all, this black button down here, and it'll invite everyone. And then if everyone gets invited, so I'll show you once again. You just click my wanted posters, click embark, whatever level, ideally level 3, you go in and you press invite all. And then you definitely want to hit your expedition, because the first one you do on your own is free. Everyone else's, if you try to hit them, you'll see that it costs energy. So this is my friends. It costs 18 energy. So you're basically getting 18 energy for free by doing your own. Every time you go in, though, the energy cost will go down if you do decide to hit it multiple times. But most of the time, people will try to hit it only once, because that way you can have more people join in and get more contribution, more people get credit for it, and also it's just a waste of energy, honestly. So that's what you kind of want to get, you know, some strong expedition teams eventually. But the most important thing is just having, you know, the basic expedition teams to get started. So yeah, the most important rewards you can get, in my opinion, from this are the, like, if you can't complete this all, it's fine. But the most important ones, like the ones that are really good, the equipment conversion gem chest, for sure you want to get. Same with the Mole Agora. These are very, very good. And on the way, you'll get a lot of charms, which are really nice, and some reforge mats. But afterwards, you know, after you hit 1k, after that, it's kind of like a bonus. I really like when Fire Expedition's running that you can get to the speed gem, because yeah, speed set is like not the best, but the most universal set in the game. So you can never have too many of these. Other ones are good as well, but yeah, try to get as far as you can. Don't, you know, break your back trying to get to 2k if you can't. You know, don't waste all your energy early game trying to get to 2k. It's not worth it. Just get as far as you can. Eventually, you'll be able to start filling out this expedition depot very, very easily. You'll see that mine's not even close, and there's not a lot of time left in the month. I haven't really been playing lately, that's why, but usually I just clear this out in the first week or two. Because in the first week or two, if you're in a good guild or have good friends, you actually will have a lot of banners up, because everyone's farming these expeditions over and over. They'll go down really, really fast. So very, very important to do. Like, I can't emphasize enough that you need to get started in, what's it called, expeditions as soon as you can, especially for mid-late game players. Very, very important for PvP specifically, because you want to maximize all your stats. For instance, like if I go on some like equipment pieces, if I could find stuff that I gemmed, now they say that I'm not going to be able to find anything. Yeah, this is a low roll, but actually it's a min roll, but it's okay, right? So you'll see like I'm gemming stuff, right? This was probably, I think this was effectiveness, right? So you're just gemming out really useless stats for, you know, stats that are better, right? So yeah, like this one, for example, I could gem out for more crit damage, honestly, and it'd be better. Let me actually try to see if I have one, because that is a min crit chance roll, and I actually do want to do it. I cannot, but yeah, I would do it eventually, because it is one of my better speed pieces. But you really want to try to, you know, gem out stuff as much as you can, because for PvP, you just want to make use of every single stat that you get. Every single little stat that you get matters in the long run. So make sure you do your gems as soon as you can, or not gems, expeditions as soon as you can. Just to reiterate, if you really want a beginner team that can hit a lot of the content, just run Tamarinne in every single one. Even though she's a fire soul weaver, she's not going to be tanking. You can literally have her in every single expedition. If you guys really want to know, the best comps and what you guys should work towards, just click statistics down here. It'll list it all. So I'll start with the fire. So you'll see for level 3 fire, even though Tamarinne is the same element, you guys might be wondering why take her over a Momo when a Momo was ice versus fire, right? Kind of like the Wyvern argument. Well, Tamarinne's just OP, so you just take her in expedition everywhere. You'll see for every single one besides, I think, ice, you won't see her, just because she's still good in ice, don't get me wrong, but the best team comps don't actually use her, but the best team comps for the other ones will use Tamarinne for the most part. There's going to be some exceptions, obviously, which I'm not going to get too into detail, but generally Tamarinne is going to be the best choice for expeditions, especially for mid-game players, early-game players that want to get into expeditions early. So you'll see, like I said, Crow is rank 3 here because he's probably the best Ice Knight. Actually, Rose is slightly better, but Crow, you can build him for PvP and use him here as well. You can see that the rest are DPS units that you can use. For Earth, you'll see that, of course, it's Tamarinne because she's Fire versus Earth, and you see Aros as the tank, and the other 3 are just going to be DPS units, doesn't really matter. Any fire units that you have that can DPS, right? Some people use Kana, she's very, very strong here. Tenebri is very good, balances on, Arby is very good. And then for Ice, you'll see, like I said, Falcon and Clary is the main tank, usually. If you're running Rowana, she can tank as well. If you're not going to run Rowana, just use Tamarinne and have Falcon and Clary tank. You just run 2 DPS. There's some really weird strats you can do against Ice Expedition, which I'll cover in a different video. But yeah, just keep in mind, Ice Expedition, just run Falcon and Clary, Tamarinne, and then 2 DPS, and you're fine. And Dark, you'll see Tamarinne's the best. Falcon and Clary, like I said, can be the tank. You can even use Lilius, and then people use like a CR push, like cut team with like a Cerise and stuff like that, but you can just use like Landy, Tamarinne, Falcon and Clary, and then like RB even, and it'll be fine, or a Defense Breaker. Don't have to worry too much about the specifics. You're not here to make the best teams yet. You guys should just be trying to make your basic teams to get into expeditions ASAP, because you want to start getting those gems, right? Even if you do fail expeditions, you won't get the gems, but you'll get gold still, so it's not terrible. Just make sure you start in expeditions as soon as you can. I'd say you want to focus on expeditions as soon as you have like all of Hell Raid down. Once you have Wyvern, Banshee, and Azmonak, those 3 hunts dead and on farm, then you should start hard focusing on expeditions if you don't want to hard focus on PvP yet. And then, Katie's and even Golem if you really want, I guess. And, wow, there's fishing still. Wow, I thought Smilegate banned one of these, but if you guys didn't know, make sure you guys don't visit these websites. They're all fake. You put in your info and your account gets stolen and then sold, so don't do that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my expedition general basic guide. I promise I'll come out with more specific guides in the future for every single one. I just don't have that much time, unfortunately, but I do plan to start releasing videos more frequently once I do. So yeah, as always guys, if this video helps you out, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me out a lot, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace!